All right, let's go. I don't know a lot about the mango. Here's a mango. They come in various shapes and sizes. Different ones of them have different names. I cut them up a particular way. I think you may have seen me do it in another video. But I'm going to try and learn a better way. That's because I heard of a guy who kind of peeled his mango. And the skin does seem like you could probably pull it off. I don't know. What happens if I was to try that? Now I'm starting at the stem end, not the tail end. And let's take a look. Well, that piece peeled off. And we don't use the mango skins. I don't know what pesticides are used in mangoes, but it could be that we don't want to eat the skin. Or it could be that we're wasting the skin when we throw it away. I'd like to know the answer to that. Somebody's going to mention to me I should grow mangoes. They don't grow well here. I could do it in a microclimate. It's not worth it. If I'm going to have to make a microclimate that I'll try and peel this up here a little bit. If I'm going to try and make a microclimate that can grow an exotic thing, that exotic thing had better be something that doesn't grow here, is from far away, and I can sell for more or not have to buy it. Vanilla orchids come to mind, where those could be grown in a walipini. But if I grew a mango tree in my walipini, even if I shaped it, right? How many kilos of mango am I really going to get? That peeled off pretty nice there. If I'm going to suck on the skin like this, if there was pesticides on the outside of it, wouldn't they be in my mouth now? I'll try a piece of mango peel. It's not inedible. It tastes vaguely mango-like, which is a great flavor. I think if I bite into it, it's going to make all that gooiness come out. So I think it's better if I peel it. Now, I was kind of hoping for ripping it down. Like, rip pieces down like that. It's not coming off quite the way I'd want it to. And this is a pretty ripe mango. Maybe it peels off better when it's younger or when it's older. This part peeled off pretty well. Could toss all these skins into something and blend them up if they're healthy. I feel dumb peeling things. Like, I don't think potatoes need to be peeled. I think that's ridiculous. I think it's a waste of time. And, I don't know. I don't want to spend my time peeling mangoes all my life. I would not mind spending a fair amount of my time eating mangoes. It's just all gooey softness. Sweet, beautiful flavor. I could attempt to build a stone, part of a stone building that had a U-shape facing south. And its whole goal was to capture a lot of heat and then release it at night. And it would tend to do that. If it was black, it wouldn't reflect a lot of sun, so it's not going to increase the daytime sun too much. The beauty of it is you could have a small group of mango trees, and at first you could just plant them all over it at the right spacing, with just tons of great dirt in there, the best dirt, and then be able to control watering it very well. This would be fairly wet. We could, as much as we are able, try to mimic the climate of wherever they grow. So we could look mangoes up, see where they grow right near here. It may depend on the type of mango, but maybe we'd grow mango that grew somewhere else. But some mango, we want to mimic their climate. And so we use this sun trap, this, fairly tall rock wall. And I'm thinking pretty wide, like a small plaza's in it, kind of. But its primary focus is to plant heat-loving, water-loving trees. And we put our best dirt in there. We have pockets for people to get in there. We can definitely have human use as well. But the primary focus is the microclimate. And so, 80% of the space in there should be taken up with trees. Mango trees. And other things that grow down on the coast. It seems so pointless. It really does. Because we can get them so cheaply. But I think it's a good illustration. I think microclimates are a good illustration of how fragile our climate is. How if things change a little bit in a place, then the ability to grow something changes radically. And so we can make negative microclimates as well. We can take places that were in a particular climate zone and change it so that they're no longer able to survive in that climate zone. That is a terrible shame. Now in this case, I got a big piece of mango off there, a big slice. That's inconvenient. Has the skin on it still. Well, I'm winning because I get to eat a mango. But I bet you a little kid down on the coast, could cut a mango up 100 times better than me, because they eat mangoes probably every day. If I lived on the coast, I would eat mangoes every day. For sure. Mango Fest. When's World Day of the Mango? I forgot. If there isn't one, I'll make one. And I'll celebrate it by eating mangoes. My advice is that it gets put in April. Maybe March. Right smack dab in the middle of the time period when there's a truck selling mangoes because they're in surplus. But buy the first cheap ones that come out as soon as they come out. And measure exactly how much weight a mango starts out with and it ends up with dried. Then we can say on a packaging thing or in a trade, how many dried mangoes are they receiving for their trade? I'd want to know that. How many dried mangoes are in a kilo? What is the weight of the fruit taken off of mangoes when it's dried? A kilo of mangoes. So if I bought 100 kilos of mangoes, see, it's too messy. It's too messy. That bothers the heck out of me. So we would want to, I think that mangoes should be eaten fairly fresh all year. I think that we should sell 3 kinds of mango product. Somebody in the municipio should. Number 1 product, 4, okay? First is mangoes. We could get larger deliveries of mangoes. And, excuse me. If you want video of me blowing my nose, you can look somewhere else. First, it's fresh and delivered. I'm not going to count mangoes of ones we plant here because I don't ever think we'll produce very many. It just doesn't make sense. We don't want to fight the climate. We want to grow what wants to grow for us. So, they're brought in currently with gasoline transport, and we want to buy those in bulk. If we're going to buy them, we buy them in bulk. So, I don't know what's the best price. Right now, I like to buy them from the guys in the pickup trucks because those mangoes are always really ripe. Those mangoes are close to wanting to be eaten really soon. And That's because if you buy them at the Mercado de Abastos or something, they're still ripening. And so we'd have to compare prices. But the other issue is transport. We're probably not going to be buying a semi-load full. And I don't know that they probably store that well, so I don't know that they have semi-load trucks. The research needed to figure this out would be to go to Mercado de Abastos in both Morelia and Zacapu with a long list of things to investigate. All the kinds of food that they have, what the prices are, what the seasonality is, what geographical region does that particular fruit or veggie come from. This begins our process of track backing all of our food. But let's stay focused on mangoes. But I want you to imagine in the back of your head, like there's a bunch of other foods coming through supply chains as well. We're just working on the mango problem, which will become the very tasty mango solution very soon. So we buy them the way they are right now. We want to work on solar dehydration anyway. And so we're going to dehydrate and process them here for right now. We create the product here because that's what we can do. In terms of society in general, of course, we want the producer to do what we're doing. But we want them to see the videos we have and learn how to do it and then build it themselves. I'm not going to manage a project somewhere else making a system like that. I can make it here, they can copy us. And then they'll start processing their own mangoes. But our initial goal is to buy them early on, produce product, and then by mid-mango season, we certainly have powder is one form. We can sell mangoes because we buy them in bulk. That's why I can sell them locally. It's just easier. It doesn't have to make a lot of money. If I can reduce the cost of other people eating mangoes, great. But so there's fresh, there's semi-dried. And I mention this because a friend of mine left and was drying some and gave them to me not fully dried. And you know what? They were way better. I would rather eat those semi-dried ones than dried ones or a fresh mango. In other words, the ideal way to eat a mango is semi-dried. The outside is dried so you can touch it. It's a snack, but the inside's still kind of mushy and gushy. It's the perfect consistency. When you over-dry them, which you should do if you want mangoes for the whole rest of the year, because they'll reconstitute anyway. They're just not a good snack food. But you then use mangoes to make your mango guacamole and your mango everything else, your mango drinks, anything you can think of mango related. You should go crazy with it all year, because during part of the year you took the cheapest mangoes when they were in surplus and you moved them into the parts of the year where that flavor does not exist. Now that's a little bit decadent. That does use energy, but if we can set up these solar dehydrators efficiently enough, we could make that to serve ourselves, and we could also make that as a product. The last one is mango powder. Now even the dried ones, still, fully dried ones, they're sort of, when you reconstitute them, they're sort of like an oyster, an orange mango oyster. They're super great. And you can think of many dishes that they could just be incorporated as a slurpy oyster. It's tempting to call them like, I don't know where. Like, you'd probably pick a place where mangoes are grown a lot and then call them that place oyster. Because what it is it's really a reconstituted mango slice. And you could pick them for similar consistency so that it almost looked like a little sea slug or something. That'd be kind of funny. I also take a dried one and I'll just stick it in a drink and then let it rehydrate, making my water taste like mango. And then I get mango flavor when I sip water. And I'll refill the water. And then when I think that the mango has released most of its flavor, I'll just slurp that mango down like an oyster. Works out great. But let's get back to the powder. If we wanted to just ship flavor far, or we wanted to store the product really well. Now, the powdered one is going to have more oxygen hitting the pieces of mango, but in some cases we actually will store things in perhaps carbon dioxide in a bucket. And can you imagine how many, we can measure this. This is totally measurable. All we have to do is take some super dried mango and powder it and then see what volume it takes up. And what weight it is should still be the same weight. And so we should track that through, and then when we look at the volume, how many mangoes would you estimate would fit powdered in a 5-gallon bucket that was then sealed with no oxygen? A lot of mangoes. Like, that's more mangoes than quite a few trees might produce in a season. I'm making that up. You got to check my math on that. but I swear it's going to be 1,000 mangoes. And that's an amazing supply of nutrients, of taste. I'm primarily interested in taste because I'm solving protein problems and solving nutritional problems with a variety of other methods. And this is a very specific case where I want to take a product that is in surplus at one time, that is a little bit exotic for here as far as flavor goes, so we can't eat it most of the time, move that flavor into all parts of the year while also storing 5-gallon buckets as an emergency supply of this if there was ever any disruption. Makes a perfect thing. I mean, you could probably trade it, although I just eat it. I mean, I don't know. We really got to calculate how many mangoes that is, because that could be years of mango eating for a person or two. And then we can sell that even locally as an emergency supply. We could make up a drink where you add powdered mango. Why not? You know, there's a little bit of slurry in there and it's powdered mango. And it's called, I don't know, mango out of season is a pretty dumb name for anything. We could brainstorm names for that. It could be I would recommend a mezcal brewed over there in a Pongio. And I would recommend powdered mango. Start there, try it out. And then experiment around a little bit. Like, what if you added a little tiny dash of grenadine for color? What if you added lime? Lime goes with everything. Does it go with mango, though? I think a taste testing is in order. I think we should make a few permutations of mango powder mezcal drinks. And then, like, make, I don't know, we could, whatever we can brainstorm, 5, 10. And then put everybody's score, and they score them without, you know, they should be blindfolded. Really go for that scientific test of the flavor. Get it right once and for all. You know, what's going to be the best Bosque drink. And then mix it in with a variety of other things. But don't make it complex. If we can make it local, it's even better. Well, thinking about mangoes. Maybe I'll go eat another mango. That one was pretty good. It's gone. I forgot to save the seed. Dang it. I want to start saving the seeds and sprouting them. I want to get really good at it.